I swear to God, stylish just cannot help themselves. I don't even know what to say. They are once again buffing yet another weapon. I know we've talked about weapon buffs and weapon buffs and weapon buffs, but they just keep doing it. Oh, why is my sensitivity so high? The most recent change that they have made, and the kind of thing that we're going to be talking about here, of course being one of many things that they've changed in the test place for Phantom Forces, is going to be to the chainsaw. Now, a lot of you guys probably don't use the chainsaw. I know I don't. I have like no kills on this thing, and I know pretty much I never see this thing. I know I say that a lot about stuff, but I don't see this. However, I guess in their attempt to try and everyone's lagging, I guess. In their attempt to try and bring a little bit more like of these kinds of like unused weapons into the meta, or rather just into seeing any use at all, they are trying to buff it. And come on. Okay. So if you don't know, the chainsaw is a level 226 LMG, one of the highest level weapons in the game. It is also one of the highest, if not the highest, I think the highest actually, ammo capacity weapon in the entire game as well, just based on like, I guess magazine or drum size rather. Now this weapon isn't necessarily bad. It's not necessarily unusable or anything like that. It's just one of those weapons where there's just better options. And for how high of a level that it's unlocked at, it just doesn't really seem like it's worth it. Now currently I've been recording thus far in the test place, but if we actually go back to just the standard main game for Phantom Forces, we can see just straight up flat by default, we get 30 minimum damage, or 30, sorry, I can read 30 maximum damage out to 80 studs. That minimum damage is 23, so it's always a 4 or 5 shot. There's just no real in between, unless of course you utilize the headshot multiplier that I always kind of fail to discuss. So it's just like very mid. It's got like a mid fire rate, it's got mid damage, and it's level 226, and it forces you to hip fire, by the way. I'm not sure if you could tell, if you can see with your eyeballs, but yeah, it forces you to hip fire. And it is, if I'm not mistaken, the only weapon that does not allow you to put sights onto it. I mean, like, yeah, why would they let you? You can't actually ADS, so it doesn't really matter. So, okay, we've established what the chainsaw is. We've established what it does. We've established that, honestly, it's very, very mid. So what are they buffing about it, and is it actually going to be useful? That is the question of the hour. Thank you for the free XP, my good sirs. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Well, they've actually changed quite a bit on the chainsaw. So the number one thing is going to be damage. We can see that we went from 30 damage at 80 studs up to 35 damage out to just 60 studs. So a little bit less about this far, but 35 damage, guaranteed 3-shot, great. We've also got a 1.1 torso multiplier now, but the most criminal thing to me is the fire rate nerf. There's no excuse for this. So they took it from 700 RPM, which is fairly mid, whatever, down to 600, even slower. Yeah, great. So like a lot of updates or like a lot of weapons, it's kind of like you give a little, you take a little. You give a little more damage, you take a little bit of the fire rate. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the change. I think really overall it could have used a bit of a damage buff. Totally fine. Adequate, whatever. I don't like the fire rate. I mean, 600 is still mid. It's not like you can't do damage with it. I mean, I like the Stoner 96, and that thing has what, like 1 RPM? Something like that. It shoots very, very slow. That's a joke, by the way. I know it shoots a little faster than that. Now, the biggest issue that I have with a weapon like this in particular is the fact that obviously no ADS, no sight, nothing like that. So we have to rely on our ability to see in the center of our screens. Now, we can fiddle with that a bit by adding things like laser sights, and then if I wanted to add like, say, I don't know, muzzle booster to give us 648 RPM, honestly, recoil's not great. Hi, what's up? You doing good? It's literally like they can hear me. It's literally like every time, it's like they can hear me. They're living in my walls. Oh, I don't like that recoil. I don't like it, not one bit. I mean, yeah, I could change it a little bit, I guess, but I don't know. It's just like, I like 3-shot ability. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll know that is like, hold on, that is like my favorite thing, right? You give me a freaking MP5, and it's like an ugly model because it's very old, but 3-shot ability, maybe up to 25 studs, but 3-shot ability. This is, how do you say, I don't like this. The main thing for me is just going to be the fact that I cannot ADS. I don't like hip fire weapons. I just don't. It does kind of help to get the jump on the guy's not looking at you, but like You can see the hit marker. It's just all over the place. If I could just ADS, which really, if I want to ADS, this is not the weapon I should use. I get that. It's not for everybody. If it's not for me, it's not for me. It makes sense, you know? But it is technically a buff. At least they claim it is. Damage buff, yeah, but I guess, again, you kind of, you win some, you lose some. You lose a little bit of that, what's the word for it? Fire rate, yeah, that's it. And you gain a little bit of damage. And that's pretty much all that I can say about it. It's a weapon I never get to see. It's a weapon that I never get to use, or rather just kind of choose not to use. And beyond that, it's like, yeah, it's a weapon. Level 226, that's up there. I mean, it gets worse with the MG42 at level 242, so this isn't like the highest level weapon in the game or anything like that, but 242, or 226, I mean, I'm just barely level 226. I've been playing for like 8 years. There are so many better weapons than this that you can unlock sooner if you wanted to, level-wise or pre-buy wise. It just doesn't really make sense to me. It's definitely unique though, and if there's one thing that I like, it is in fact unique weapons, which of course, like I just said, this one is. So I don't know what else to say about it. That's pretty much it to it. It's just, I guess that they're taking an initiative to buff a lot of weapons in the game. There's probably a lot of underused weapons, so that's always really cool to see. But at the end of the day, not every buff is going to be, as we've seen here, actually as good as we think it is. Still, 3-shot ability, better close-up damage, great. They're definitely doing an initiative to bring some weapons more into the meta, quote-unquote, which I think is cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I can say about that. But if you did enjoy today's video, you could subscribe. We are getting closer to 200,000 subscribers with every day that passes, and I would greatly appreciate if you could contribute to that. You know, with notifications on too, that'd be pretty nice of you. If you want to become a channel member to support me making videos just like this one, you could do so with the link in the description below and in the pinned comment below as well. And yeah, if you like this video and you want to watch others just like it, you can do so with the playlist that'll be up on screen right now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.